People of the verse, hello and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and today is review day. We will go thoroughly through Star Citizen's newly released quarterly patch, Star Citizen Alpha 3.11. So, it is live, guys, and well, I gotta say that it is great to have a patch that is almost out on time and not over a month late. I mean, that is quite a change compared to what we have been used to so far this year. However, the big question that we have at the tip of our tongues right now is, of course, the following: is it any good? And for that, we will judge the patch the way it has been judged. I mean, the way I have judged Star Citizen patches since 3.4 via its bug fixes, its quality of life improvements, its game-changing elements, its overall quality, its punctuality, and its features. Then I will give it a final score. So without further ado, let's get to it. And before we do that, guys, let's not forget that this month I've got an exceptional giveaway, as we are giving away 2 prizes on this channel. First, a lifetime insurance Starfarer. That is quite a big ship here. So all you have to do to get winning is to be a subscriber of this channel and comment to any Star Citizen or Squadron 42 related videos. The winner will be announced early November. And if you don't win the Starfarer, who knows, you may also win a Reliant. This one also comes with lifetime insurance as well. Alright, well, let's get started with our review here, and we'll start with bug fixes. And wow, where do I begin? Well, sure, there is a lot to be done, obviously, but the list of major bug fixes for Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 is quite long. In fact, there are even some fixes of bugs that I didn't even know were bugs, such as, for example, ships pitching upwards and backwards erratically on takeoff. I mean, I even thought that this was a feature, right? Miners will also be happy to see that a lot of extra care has been done to improve their overall experience, especially for hand and ROC miners. Rest stops now should have functioning bars, although I have never been able to actually be served a drink due to them being quite overcrowded, not by players but at NPCs, which is quite insane. Airlocks should now work properly, and so should maintenance facilities at stations. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I have been able to refuel and repair every time I wish to, and this has been quite a relief. Scavengers will also rejoice in Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 because selling random boxes you pick up now will now be possible again, although the selling price is still ridiculously low. Grenades also seem to work. I mean, they have exploded every time I use them, which was not the case in previous patches and even during Wave 1 PTU. Another bug that appears to have been fixed in Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 is how structures failed to stream as we reached them, which was actually one of the reasons I didn't play Star Citizen Alpha 3.10 much, as it made the game totally unplayable, to me at least. And sure, the patch is still not perfect bug-wise. I mean, it's alpha after all, and weapons still occasionally won't fire, the star map still occasionally will malfunction, quantum travel would still occasionally not engage, but I still think that we are moving towards the right direction, and this is why this category earns a 7 out of 10. Quality of life seems to become a priority for Cloud Imperium, and honestly, I think that it is because not much is happening feature-wise, and thus it probably is the only way they can say that they are making progress. That being said, quality of life is very important as it provides players with great experiences, which then encourages players to return to get some more. Quality of life creates a positive dynamic that the game has been losing for a couple of patches due to poor quality of life. For reference, I gave in Star Citizen Alpha 3.9 a 4 out of 10 and in 3.10 a 2 out of 10 in that category. So, will Alpha 3.11 do any better? Well, I can proudly say that bed logouts have worked every single time for me. Updated ship UI makes flight more pleasant. I really appreciate details such as the new hangar indicators on the working FPS radar, because yes, it works again. Individually, those changes don't seem much of a big deal, but each malfunctioning feature brings its own share of frustration, and thus each feature that either gets fixed or brought back or helps the overall user experience is one less frustration we need to worry about when we play the game, with which, therefore maintains our enjoyment when playing the game. With Star Citizen Alpha 3.11, quality of life gets a 6 out of 10, which is the category's best score since 3.8. Moving on to game-changing elements, and the law system seems to have been the focus of the last couple of patches, and it still seems to be the case in Star Citizen 3.11 as we get to experience the removal of some armistice zones, which are replaced by turret platforms and NPC security reinforcements. This is a first step towards complete removal of all armistice zones, not just around stations, but also in stations and within outposts and landing zones such as New Babbage, Levski, or Area 18. Sadly, Port Olisar and especially Grimex are excluded from this change, which still provides a safe haven for wanted criminals, but it is again definitely a step towards the right directions. Sadly, there's nothing else to report here, and this category gets a 6 out of 10. Overall quality is good. I am happy to announce that after 25 hours of gameplay, I have only experienced 3 30k errors, 2 of them which happened right after patch launch, and 0 crash to desktop so far. The game has never been smoother to me, and frame rates have remained pretty high at the busiest areas of the versus landing zones. Star Citizen feels like the devs spent a lot of time to polish the player experience, and this gets an 8 out of 10 for overall quality. Let's talk about punctuality now, and Star Citizen 3.11 was released 8 days after its deadline and is not even feature complete, as we are still waiting for the much anticipated Crusader Mercury Star Runner. At least it is not over a month late, but still can't get anything better than a 3 out of 10. And now let's move on to features. So we're going to add a new category here, which is called added content, which is a new category that gets added with this patch, as I noticed that more categories such as characters and AI remain empty, and this was not being reflected in the overall score in previous reviews. This new category is therefore here to remedy the issue, and so since this patch is quite low in terms of content and brings nothing in terms of new characters and AI, it gets only a 3 out of 10. Locations now, and I'm sorry CIG, but we have been hyped about cargo decks for months, only to find out that it is just an empty shell. Quite frankly, I don't care if new gameplay will be added soon, TM, done when it is done, TM, because right now in Alpha 3.11, going there is a complete waste of our time, and this only gets a 1 out of 10. Moving on to gameplay now, and this one is kind of a mixed bag. I mean, sure, forced reactions are cool and add to our immersion in the game, but the relaxation of green zones add also an extra thrill, sure, yeah, whether you are a low-abiding citizen or not. Players and player and external inventories build the foundations for future gameplay. I mean, but you know, it was still not very useful, because this will be more useful when there will be more content that will be added in the future. So again, it is building foundations for future gameplay. My only reservation here is that the new improved throw mechanics that I find clunky and unintuitive, especially for grenades. I hate the fact that in combat we have to waste precious seconds selecting the grenades to throw. This is time any opponents can use to get an edge on us, and it makes the use of grenades very limited in my eyes. The other thing that I like to say is just that there isn't much in that patch gameplay-wise, and Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 kind of feels like more of the same, just a little bit better, and that's why it's downgrading the score to a 5 out of 10. Moving on to ships and vehicles. Well, I am not going to include the Mercury Star Runner because it is not out there yet and probably won't be for a couple of weeks. So that leaves us with a 100 series, which is really nice and does feel like a mini 300 series. I'm not sure if a lot of players are going to use those ships though, but for new players they definitely are an upgrade to the Aurora and Mustang series. They fly better, and slightly offer more versatility. Especially the size 3 fixed guns on a 125A makes it quite a formidable opponent for a starship, and I think that CIG did make a great job for those 3 ships. Too bad the Star Runner didn't make it on time, and this limits the score to a 5 out of 10. Let's talk about weapons and items now, and I absolutely love the new weapons in Star Citizen 3.11. The grenade launcher is a ton of fun and can send your opponents flying in the air. How awesome is that? I hear people calling it the noob tube, but I'm sorry, I disagree. Having tested it for quite some time, I can tell that it requires accuracy, finesse, and a good appreciation of your environment to be used effectively. Otherwise, you will miss, you will be detected, and probably be killed while reloading or changing weapons, or you may even blow yourself up. And yes, it happened to me several times. As far as the BR2 shotgun, I would say that it is perhaps the first shotgun that I enjoy using in Star Citizen. It fires quickly, it is accurate even at mid-range, although it requires more shots of course, and doesn't take too much space in your line of sight, which adds extra comfort. And so guns and weapons and items get a 7 out of 10. Moving on to core tech here, and why would something as trivial as ground cover buoyancy get a roadmap card other than roadmap padding? That is beyond me, and this is why this category gets a 1 out of 10. Overall, the features of Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 get a 3 out of 10. There just isn't a lot on the table, and a lot of what is being brought is quite meaningless. Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 is so far the most disappointing patch in terms of features, and I hope that this won't be a trend until iCache and server meshing finally get released. And so, our final score for Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 is a 5 out of 10, which by the way is the best score I have been giving since Star Citizen Alpha 3.8. The patch's quality is far superior to its direct predecessors, but it lacks the content. And its delays lower its score quite a bit. It is still going towards the right direction, and it is a most pleasing fact. But what about you guys? What do you think of Star Citizen Alpha 3.11? I would like to know your opinion in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you like this kind of content and you want to support the channel. Furthermore, the join button is also there. Any further help is much appreciated. This is the Eradicator, and I will see you guys later.